Let's concentrate a bit on what is happening in the national capital. First, let me tell you about the big numbers as far as Delhi coronavirus crisis is concerned. 91,035 active cases in the national capital at this moment. In the last 24 hours, 19,832 cases have been reported. 341 people have unfortunately lost their life because of the COVID virus. Now, you heard the courts, in fact, speaking about, why is Delhi not, or what can Delhi learn from the Mumbai model? One, the capital city of the country, the other, the financial capital of the country. Somehow, though it's too early to say, but it seems that Mumbai has turned a corner and things are getting better. As far as oxygen crisis in Delhi is concerned, a lot of comparisons are being made, and specifically by opposition parties, of why is Delhi consuming and asking for so much more oxygen while Mumbai is able to work with quite less amount of oxygen in comparison to Delhi. I just took a deep dive to take a look at what is the situation between both Delhi and Mumbai. Take a look at this. Raghav Chadha is joining us after this small report.
Patients gasping for oxygen. Relatives running from pillar to post for beds and medicines. This is the worst phase of the COVID emergency that Delhi has seen since the beginning of the pandemic. Meanwhile, India's financial capital, Mumbai, has witnessed a slight decline in cases in the recent days. Why does Delhi gasp more for oxygen than Mumbai? On Wednesday, BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya in a tweet launched a scathing attack on Arvind Kejriwal's government in Delhi, claiming that the national capital, with a little over 90,000 cases, is consuming 433 metric tons of oxygen and demanding 900 metric tons, while Mumbai, with a comparable caseload, consumes just 245 metric tons. The Supreme Court asked the centre to supply 700 metric tons to Delhi. Can the situation between Delhi and Mumbai even be compared? Sources in the Delhi government told India Today that the capital had 19,085 oxygen beds as per data on May the 5th. Contrary to this, Mumbai has more than 11,000 beds on the same date. Similarly, Mumbai, with around 57,000 active cases on Wednesday, was consuming 245 metric tons of oxygen daily. This means per active case, the oxygen consumption in Mumbai is roughly 0.0042 metric tons. Meanwhile, Maharashtra on the whole, with 6.7 lakh active cases, is consuming 1,700 metric tons, which works out to a very low per capita consumption of 0.002 metric tons. Unlike Delhi, which is rigged with a complex administrative setup, Mumbai has been able to control the situation thanks to a streamlined coordination between the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation and the Maharashtra government. On the other hand, Delhi has been plagued by frequent showdowns between the centre and the Kejriwal government. Also, the capital does not produce oxygen of its own and is dependent on other states. With Ankit Tyagi in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, to answer a few questions, let me just straight away go across to Raghav Chadha. He is in the national capital, the point person, the man who day in, day out right now is trying to make sure that hospital beds are the oxygen crisis there can be averted. And also, the city does not go through one crisis after another as far as oxygen is concerned. Raghav Chadha, thank you so much for speaking to us. Welcome. I want to understand from you, the Supreme Court itself said that what are the things or what are the lessons that Delhi can learn from Mumbai? I was just trying to make a point that the situation between both these two important cities of India are quite different. What is it that you can tell us why Delhi is at a crisis at this moment while Mumbai has been able to manage its oxygen beds better?
Look, first of all, the Honorable Supreme Court did suggest that there are certain best practices being followed in Mumbai by the administration, and certainly Delhi, along with every other state, must look at them, and if they are best practices, they must be emulated. I fundamentally believe that if there is anything which any other state is doing, which can be replicated in Delhi, that can further enhance the initiatives, the efforts of the government of Delhi, it must be done, and we are absolutely open to feedback as well as emulating best practices of any other state. However, as far as Mumbai is concerned, my own sense is that from the standpoint of oxygen supply, and merely from the standpoint of oxygen supply, the two cities are not comparable. Comparing Delhi's oxygen requirement with Mumbai's oxygen requirement is like comparing apples with oranges, and I say this because of the following. Number one, the total number of oxygenated non-ICU beds in Delhi are twice in number as compared to Mumbai's non-ICU oxygenated beds. Therefore, the requirement is higher in Delhi. The number of ICU oxygenated beds in Delhi is 1.5 times the number of ICU oxygenated beds of Mumbai. Therefore, the oxygen requirement of Delhi is higher. The positive cases in Delhi at this point in time are roughly, approximately double the positive cases of Mumbai, and the number of RT-PCR tests conducted in Delhi in comparison to Mumbai alone is 1.5 times. So therefore the positivity rate is high,
yes,
number of patients is high, and therefore the oxygen requirement automatically goes up. That's one. Number two, Mumbai, Ankit, we need to understand, is a part of Maharashtra, which is a captive consumption state. They have several oxygen producing plants, they have big industries, they have steel plants, etc. And they also have cryogenic tankers. So for them to produce oxygen and ply crisscross among the, inside the city and inside the state is very easy. Delhi, on the other hand, does not have a single oxygen producing plant. We are not an industry state. We don't have furnaces or steel plants, and we certainly do not have, as a result of this, cryogenic tankers flying on the streets of Delhi. Therefore, I conclude my argument by saying that both Delhi and Mumbai, as far as oxygen requirement is concerned, cannot and should not be compared.
Yes. Raghav, I just want to understand, just take it further. Do you also think the comparison, of course, cannot be there because of the parameters that you have told us? The caseload in Delhi is much higher than what it is there in Mumbai. At its peak, Delhi also saw almost 28,000 cases. At its peak in the second wave, Mumbai saw around 11,000 cases. But the question also is, was the Mumbai Brihan Municipal Corporation, was it better prepared than the infrastructure in Delhi? Did they anticipate the problem better than Delhi did? Because the question is, Raghav, even the allocation that the government wanted, the Delhi government wanted the allocation from the center to be increased, that came almost in the middle of April. Shouldn't all these projections been sent to the government of India earlier so that things could have been better?
Look, as far as infrastructure is concerned, Ankit, infrastructure can best be understood by the sheer number of beds. In Delhi, as I said, non-ICU oxygenated beds are twice in number to what Mumbai has. So therefore, we have, in terms of sheer numbers, more infrastructure. As far as ICU beds are concerned, we have 1.5 times the ICU beds that are there in Mumbai. So therefore, in terms of sheer numbers, we are well equipped. And as far as the testing facility, etc. is concerned, we are testing more. The number of RT-PCR tests conducted are significantly higher than Mumbai. So therefore, I think as far as the machinery to combat COVID in terms of health infrastructure is concerned, that is very much there. Number one. Number two, yes, there is one big difference between Mumbai and Delhi, which is that Maharashtra asked for 1,500 metric ton of allocation of oxygen from the center. Maharashtra was given 1,666 metric ton of oxygen against their demand of 1,500. That is much more than what was their actual demand for oxygen. On the other hand, Delhi initially asked for 700 metric ton of oxygen, but we got a meager 390 metric ton of oxygen. That is roughly 50-55% of what we had demanded for. So therefore, when Maharashtra gets the amount of oxygen that they want and Delhi gets only 50% of what it wants, there will be a shortage in Delhi and there will be a crisis in Delhi, and that is precisely what the Honorable Supreme Court and the High Court have also been trying to resolve for a very long time. And it is, while I thank the High Courts and the Supreme Court, I must also say this, that it is most unfortunate that it required a judicial intervention. It required a judicial intervention from the highest court of the country for the center to give us 700 metric ton, that too 1 day in a week.
Yes. Raghav, you've repeated the same numbers, but I just want to understand from you the problem of supply chain, the cryogenic tankers that you are speaking about. When the crisis started, it was only in middle of April, in fact post 15th April, that the government of Delhi started writing to people, writing to transporters and to various industrialists to try and get cryogenic tankers from them. But simple question is, did you fail to anticipate and reacted to the problem of supply chain, slightly slower or delayed the response, which has resulted in further enhancing this mess in Delhi?
Look, first of all, as far as the oxygen requirement prior to this second wave becoming as lethal as it has become was very less in Delhi. There were cryogenic tankers that are owned by companies like Air Inox, Air Liquid, Air Linde, etc., which are the biggest suppliers of LMO, that is the liquid medical oxygen, and they ply their tankers from their respective plants into Delhi, and then they distribute this LMO to respective hospitals. So therefore, there was already a machinery that was in place, existing and catering to these hospitals and small nursing homes. Now, what has happened is that since the demand has gone up significantly, and not just of Delhi, but of virtually every state in this country, the infrastructure was supposed to be increased accordingly. Now, therefore, whenever the demand increased, we wrote to the center to give us more oxygen and also give us more tankers. What you also need to understand is that there is now a committee of the Government of India headed by a very senior bureaucrat, the Secretary of DPIT, one Mr. Guru Prasad Mahapatra, who unfortunately himself is battling COVID as we speak. It is under his leadership that oxygen allocation is being decided for each state. Now, what has happened is, and what we had petitioned the committee also and have said so many times, is that just how oxygen is being allocated to states, cryogenic tankers must also be allocated to states. You cannot only give oxygen and say we will not give you tankers, because if you give me oxygen and I do not have tankers, how will I bring that oxygen into my own city or in my own state? So therefore, this allocation itself becomes a mere paper allocation.
But shouldn't the state government also be taking these steps proactively, Raghav? All other state governments were also trying to get cryogenic tankers, lease them, buy them from wherever they could. Why did the Delhi government sleep on that? Why are you only putting the blame on the center that you provide oxygen, you provide tankers?
No, of course not. So a couple of things. One, we have also approached several industrialists, several chief ministers, several companies that are in the business of logistics and transportation, and the government of Delhi has organized some cryogenic tankers for themselves to ply within the city, and that infrastructure has been built overnight, literally overnight. So therefore, for one to conclude that Delhi government wasn't proactive is grossly unfair. In fact, we were so proactive that much before this oxygen crisis hit the streets, we had anticipated it. We had spoken to several ministers in the union government, including the senior most ministers in the government, the bureaucrat, etc., which I don't wish to name. But this conversation was going on for quite some time, number one. Number two, you know, Ankit, when this exact same argument that you've just made was made by the Honorable Solicitor General before the Delhi High Court, the Delhi High Court said that, look, Mr. Solicitor, Delhi is not an industry state. Delhi does not have steel plants, Delhi does not have oxygen producing factories, and Delhi certainly does not have cryogenic tankers. And therefore, as a national government, you have a special responsibility for the national capital. You need to provide both liquid oxygen as well as cryogenic tanks. This is not my assessment. This is not merely my allegation. This is the interpretation of the Delhi High Court, which in its own wisdom has opined on this matter time and again.
Okay. There are certain observations made against the Delhi government as well, but I just want to very quickly ask you in conclusion, Raghav, do you also believe that the governance structure of Delhi is a big hindrance, and that is the reason why a centralized command like we have seen in Mumbai, things are more streamlined? It is the municipal corporation which works under the state government. That structure is working better than in Delhi. The central triage system, the command system is missing in Delhi because of the 3 layers of governance that we have, and that is hampering the welfare of the citizens.
Look, Ankit, I've said this on several occasions, and I'm not saying this merely from the standpoint of this pandemic that we are facing, or the second wave, or the outbreak of COVID-19. But as far as Delhi is concerned, the administration of Delhi is a constitutional mess. It is a mess because there is multiplicity of agencies. There is the union government, there is the lieutenant governor, there is the Delhi government, there are the MCDs, there is NDMC, there are several stakeholders. And therefore, for long, we as a political party, we as a government have believed that Delhi, in terms of sheer administrative scheme of things, is a constitutional mess. And therefore, it is time, if one should move towards full statehood, whereby Delhi gets its entire rights. The voters elect a government that is responsible for everything, from sanitation to law and order, from land to bijli pani. Everything should be under one state government. And the people should hold only the state government responsible. Now in Delhi, the sanitation is with one body, law and order is with the MHA, the union government owns land, the LG thinks he's the boss. It is a complete chaos, which I fully agree, and therefore the Aam Aadmi Party has been petitioning every forum to seek full statehood for the people of Delhi.
Okay, we'll leave it there, Raghav. Thank you so much for joining us. Raghav has been, in fact, but I must compliment the forefront of trying to, manage all these SOS calls. Hospitals after hospitals have been sending, and hopefully, although Delhi has got over 550 MT yesterday, much less than what they got day before at 730 metric tons of oxygen. Hopefully, things will improve, and we'll not be seeing these kind of desperate calls at a time when oxygen is the most important commodity. Thank you so much, Raghav Chadha, for joining us. There is breaking news, in fact, coming in, ladies and gentlemen.